timers will sometimes just not turn out really good stuff.
Yeah.
There's reasons why well-known names don't always get rejection. Sometimes they need to rewrite stories a few times too before they get them.
Getting back to the romance side of things, I'm reading business file books now, and I'm kind of frustrated because there's all these alluring, attractive females crossing his path, and I don't know which one to get fixated on.
That's my urban fantasy.
Again, it's very realistic because you don't usually find our soulmate in it, because most of us probably don't even have one, and so it's just choosing what's available. But is there a perfect various the Murphys, the Mollys, and all the rest of it coming by around?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're all part of the story. And you know, if you're gonna write chicks, why not supernaturally hot chicks? Plus, I mean, it's great for Harry to be able to surround him with a bunch of like totally beautiful women that would be completely accessible if he was willing, but he's got these morals and these scruples that is like, oh, super hot vampire chick, no.
So what does Harry do for recreation? Does he a true wizard with all his channels and libido gets channeled with staff?
His spare time is full of all sorts of nerdy activities. He's a magic nerd, and as opposed to a computer nerd. Yeah, he kind of goes out once in a while. He'll have like a date or something, and then there's a monster or a demon or something.
Yeah.
That pretty much flattens that.
I have a question about the choice of, I'm not sure how many authors have, audio versions of their books, but how do you, I've listened to, just for instance, the Patrick O'Brien series, and it has 2 different narrators, and one of them is really awesome, and the other one's so how do you really, does the author get a choice in who gets to narrate the book and stuff?
I think it depends a lot on exactly what's going on. But
I had a choice in terms of, you have a choice of would you like to breathe this oxygen, or would you not like to breathe oxygen? It's that kind of choice.
I actually heard of an incident with Monique Lizzie and Holly Black with the Spiderwick book, where they did not like who was chosen for them, and they themselves personally approached Mark Hamill and asked him would he do it, and he said yes.
Oh,
that's
cool.
how that happened. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure that if you want to go doing that, I think that in some cases it's kind of a risk. You kind of risking it. You don't want to get that prima donna reputation for the business end of things. When they were doing the audios for the Alera books, though, they had like 3 different people they liked, and they sent me the 3 different people and said, which one do you want? And so it's like, oh, I can pick from these 3 people, and I had a 30-minute sample of each of them, and listened to them and said, we got to go with the girl because she's totally awesome, Plus she's got that British accent that makes your fantasy seem more worldly and cool.
I've only had one book go to audio, and it was the Species movie tie-in, so I had no choice in it, and it was okay. I thought it was okay. I've had 2 short stories done, audio versions done of them, and hated them both. The second one wasn't that bad, but it was a female character done by a man who used a Spanish accent for the whole story instead of just the Spanish parts of it, and he would talk, and then he would get excited. He was really good with the inflections and the excitement and everything, but he would get excited and go, sucking. Every time he did that, I went, So the first one, I had a lot of high hopes for. It was, I don't know if you guys, the Jerry Seinfeld show. It was George's mother.
Oh.
Or was it Jerry Seinfeld? Or it was one of those sitcoms, and it was one of the characters' mother who did it. She did a terrible job. She did this kind of nasally New York thing all the way
That's
through it.
George's mom.
George's mom, and it did not work for what was a very sad, heart-wrenching story, and I thought, yeah, I would have rather read that myself. So, you know, I didn't like, but on the other hand, I cannot imagine sitting there and doing an entire book.
That's
That's a project. I mean, I'll put heart and soul into a reading of a short story or a book excerpt, but a whole book like that? Wow. That's, you know, I have some admiration for people who can do this.
Well, I had about a few years ago, Evo Terra, some audiobooks up in Phoenix, basically came to me and said, would you be interested in doing audio versions of your trilogy for audiobooks? And I said, well, they're published by my publisher, let me go find out what we can do about that. And they said, knock yourself out, have fun. So I actually did read all 3 of those books, and turns out one of my neighbors was a professional storyteller, so I had her come in to read the women's parts in the book with me. And but anyway, I ended up learning an awful lot about audio engineering and that sort of thing, doing do-yourself audiobooks. In that case, that was because I was working with a small press, and pretty much I had as much ability and wherewithal to do it as they did.
Well, kind of along those lines, I think this is kind of a question for everybody. When you finish a series, do you sit there and go, wow, I really love this, and I love the characters, and I want to do this more? Or do you finish it and go, God, I hate this, and I never, ever want to see this again, and I don't want to read the audiobook because I hate this now, and I'm tired of it? And that's just for anybody.
Well, I haven't finished this yet.
There you go. We haven't decided.
Yeah, the second one comes out in June. It was supposed to come out in October, and they pushed it up to June. And I don't know if there'll be a third one, because the publisher isn't going to decide whether they're going to do that until January. So I'm not tired of it yet. It's somewhere in there, you're right.
I want to do 10 more. I don't want to stick career out, and I'm just about ready to rip my hair out. Oh, I'm never going to.
Kill him. 20.
Kill him.
With the trilogy I did, at the end of the 3rd book, I was just at the point where I don't want to see these people ever again.
I mean, that's like the author killed off their romance characters.
Hey, it's good enough for Arthur Conan Doyle.
Conan Doyle brought him back twice.
Oh, yeah.
He was forced to.
I had ramen noodles for dinner.
Well, I've written one novel in one series and one novel in another, and I'm at the point of, really doing a lot of research on these. I'm going to write more books.